Welcome back to one of our usual filming locations, guys. We're back in the car and I'm going to be sharing a little bit of a story with you and explaining a lot of the latest stuff that's going on. This is one of those videos where there is a lesson that everyone can benefit from, but ultimately I am going to just be sharing my experience. Some of the videos are intended to be, lessons, some of them perhaps a little bit more advice, some of them are just story times, and this one's more of like a diary entry. So, a little bit of context on what I've been doing, right? 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago now, because time is getting on. Actually, yeah, 3, maybe 4 months ago, actually. Time's really getting on. August time, you guys can do the maths. I found myself in a position that I'd not been in for years. I didn't have much money to my name, and I had expenses. As a person growing up in the digital age, from a very young age, I had the ability to make money online, and from a child, that's what I was doing. I started my first YouTube channel at age 13. It wasn't making a lot of money till I was like 16, but that picked up. 16, making £2,000 a month, for example, is a lot. Then I went into a lot of different businesses. So even though I grew up from a child being basically broke, as soon as I had the ability to get a bit more independence and knowledge, I was making money. And what that can create is an environment where, even though you come from a poor family and everyone around you, friends and family, are struggling, you kind of have that, I like to call it middle class / rich kid privilege. And again, it's not from my family. My family were broke. I built it myself. But I had all of these income streams. And when you do that, it feels like you see a different kind of life. And also, when you've done that for years and it's always worked, it feels like there's no other way of living. It feels like this is going to continue forever, no matter what I do. And I think as a matter of that, I spoke about this in a video around, I'd say 5-6 months ago. I became very complacent, right? I became very complacent in the idea that, well, I can just get by. Thank God. This is the kind of thing that I was stressed about at the time, like seriously. I was stressed about it. My car, my other car, bear in mind this is my new car, my even older car, long story, broke. My old car broke, and it was going to cost so much money to fix due to how crap the car was. I just scrapped it, right? Just went for scrap. Then I bought this new car. Now, you could make the argument that I didn't need to buy a car. You could make the argument that I could have bought a cheaper car. But that was the biggest wake-up call I've probably had in my life. Because I'd seen a different side of the world. As an adult, I'd seen what life for a broke person could look like, and it was miserable. So I got to work on everything. I already had an established eBay account, but like I say, I let this kind of slide. My sales were dipping to a point where they were probably like 30 or 40 a month, which sounds great to a lot of you guys, but trust me, when that is your main source of income, as it was at the time, not only are you not paying the bills, you're not making any money basically at all. And I know some of you guys would dream of having an eBay that makes 20, 30, 40, 50 sales a month. And I can help you to do that, right? Link is in my Patreon bio. A lot of people say, do you teach what you do? Yeah, it's on Patreon. Click on the link in my bio. So I know a lot of you guys dream of that, and we can make that happen for you easily, but think about it. A lot of you guys have jobs and other incomes, right? It'd be a side thing. For me, it wasn't. So it was a big hit when I finally realized that my savings could disappear like that, and they did. And when I realized that that's how adult life is when you don't have much money. So I got to work on getting a lot of money fast. I got a job. I picked up every hour that I could in that job, right? And the sort of job it wasn't a 9 to 5, or it isn't a 9 to 5. You can do as many hours as you really want, or as little hours as you want. Some days a week now, because obviously I've got my money in a better place, I can work as little as 1-2 days a week. If I wanted to, I could probably do 6 or 7 12-hour shifts. So I was working all the hours that I could, whilst not sacrificing my business. I was doing eBay alone. And that's why I disappeared off YouTube for a bit. Obviously I can think of perhaps better revenue streams, easier ones, but when you're broke, you need money. So I was just building eBay. Now I've gotten to a point where my eBay revenue for the last month, this is October, was £8,300, right, across the UK and the US stores. People may say that's good, people may say that's bad, whatever. I'm just explaining the truth. A lot of people like to say, oh, you're starting an online business, well that won't work, or it doesn't mean anything until you've made some money. £8,300 in a matter of, like I say, 30 days, 31 days. So that's figures. That's figures right there. And obviously now I'm starting on Amazon. I'm making a lot more. I'm trying to make as many YouTube videos a day as I physically can. Obviously, there are other life limitations, and at this stage in life, it may make more sense to go and do some extra eBay listings or pick up an extra shift to make more money. But you know what I mean? I'm trying to do everything I can. Now, what that has rewarded me, I think that's a very nice way of wording it, is a style of life that is not only on par with the life that I was living before, it's actually better. Because think about it. I don't like to overshare with you guys, but like I say, personal diary, full transparency. Across all sorts of income streams, my profit per month can be anywhere between £3 and £5 or maybe even £6,000. Now, obviously, you guys can crunch the numbers with me, think through this, right? eBay profit can be, well, last month we're still working out things because certain items have got to be returned from the buyers to me, so that's going to be a bit of a loss. Certain items have been returned to the buyers to me, and now they're going to get returned to the suppliers, which are going to be a gain for me. So we'll say around about £2,500 as a realistic estimate was profit for this month. The job, obviously you guys can do the maths on that, but there are bonuses and different incentives that you can get. So we'll say that you're making around the same, or maybe on lower months you might make like I say, some weeks I can work like 1 day a week if I want to. So you can be making anywhere between like £500, £600, £700 at the low end to like £2,500. So obviously if I'm in one of the months where I'm grinding, or if I'm in one of the stages where I'm grinding hard, I can see my income very easy. And then there's also other miscellaneous incomes like YouTube, like Patreon, which is affiliated with YouTube, right? Like it's starting to build up, of course, but very, very early stages. Amazon, so that could be an extra £200 to £1,000, £1,200. So you get the point, right? You can be making a lot. So my point is this, because I feel like I'm ranting here. Again, I've explained the context of this video, so I kind of am allowed to rant. I don't know if it's going to be interesting for you guys to watch. If it is, let me know in the comments. My point is this. I've gone from a point of having £2,000 in the bank and a car and bills. And people might say, why does that matter to the point? Because think about it. A car is expensive, especially when you're running a big old 30-year-old car like this. It can go massively wrong at any point. Being that old, it's not that expensive when it does go wrong, but you still could be looking at a bill of like £1,000, £2,000. That's like your maximum bill, but when you've got £2,000 in your account, that should be worrying, because something can pop up at any point which can financially cripple you. And the same is true for other expenses. It's a funny thing, because I had another sort of thing. A bill came in for £300 around that time, and they've undercharged me on my car insurance apparently. So that was money out, right? So that was one example of how quickly circumstances can change. Right now, £300 could be one eBay day of sales. Profit, that is. I have days now where I'm making hundreds of pounds of profit. So right now, I still don't want to pay out any money to stuff that I don't need to, but I'm not going to be as worried. Because like I say, it's much more budgetable, it's much less concerning. Now, getting to the actual crux of the video, 8 minutes in. I do apologise for this, but this is important. Everything that I've explained up to this point is important context of why I've come to this realisation. I was grinding out everything I could, and I still am. Look at, you think that I'm making a lot of YouTube videos? You know, yesterday I missed uploading, but things come up, work, other businesses, family even. Yes, I do need to make time for family and friends. I've realised over the past 2 months, if I'm not seeing my family and friends, especially my friends and other social connections, like the girls in my life and just meeting new people, I will go crazy and the money is not worth it. Some people can say, well, if you're making 5 now, you could make 8. It's not going to be worth it, right? If I can build 8 anyway and it takes a little bit longer, that's fine. I've now reached a nice work-life balance. I can see my friends maybe 1-2 days a week, and obviously every single other day is just grind day. Getting to a point where your eBay sales, your other sources of income as well as your job, are so high. Now bear in mind that is significantly higher. Even the eBay income alone for the past month is around about your average UK salary. So realistically, I could be making at least double that per month. When you're doing that, when you're genuinely making that amount of money, a lot more problems can arise, especially when you're a business owner. Because, I'll give you examples. Number one, business tax or business associated taxes, even if you're a sole trader or anything like that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into the tax structure. This is not a tax channel. I'm learning myself. But that's the point, right? You start to go over certain thresholds, certain taxes need to be charged or are charged. And that could reduce your profit margins. It means that you need to do extra paperwork. So for example, the video that I made about value added tax, if your business goes over, I think it's £90,000, either 85 or 90, in a year or 12 months, you're going to need to register for value-added tax. Now, my eBay account, let's say, for example, as one of my businesses, you know, sales could dry up. I might never see another sale again. But at the same time, if they don't, and, you know, if we carry on at this path that we're on right now, you're going to need to register for that. That's an extra hassle. That's extra expense. It's extra concern. Doing multiple businesses at once, that's even more hassle than a lot of you guys can imagine. You guys think about grinding out on one business, and that's what I did with eBay. Now I've got my eBay to a point where I can kind of do it on like autopilot. I can kind of do it on autopilot. Yes, it's still maybe 2 to 4 hours a day, and we could do with getting that down. But it's like yesterday, for example, I had sales well over £800. It's worth it, right? But imagine trying to grind out and start a YouTube channel at the same time, or grind out and start an Amazon account. Now, I know someone in the comment section is going to say, well, I work 500 hours a week, and you're late. Look, it's not a competition for who can put the most grind in. But here's what I'm saying. If you're a worker, and I'm a worker as well, so I'm not bullying anyone, I'm not judging anybody. I work as well for somebody else, right? If you're a worker, you guys will know as well as I do, it doesn't matter what you do, retail, office, delivery driver, mechanic, anything. You go in and you've got tasks to do. If you work in a shop, you come in and you're told what to do, right? If you work on deliveries, you know where you need to go. When you are a business owner, none of this is true. You don't know. I open my laptop in the morning. Now, obviously, I've got it all structured. We've been doing eBay for like over a year now, and other sources are becoming easier to manage. But especially for things like Amazon and YouTube, where you don't have a set structure. I've been doing YouTube for years, but every different niche is different. So upload times that you need to do are different, content styles, titles, research, editing styles, it's all different. Amazon, very different to eBay. So you open that laptop in the morning or you check your phone. It's not as simple as people might think. It's not like, well, today I'm going to do my taxes, or today I'm going to make videos and do market research, or you got to do all of this and decide when you're going to do it. Now, let's also talk about how to get to £8,000 plus of eBay sales a month. Because at this point, I'm not going to lie, the frequency of sales that you're doing is in excess easily of 1 to 200 units a month. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm selling. You guys know why. It's a dropshipping store, so I'm not going to tell you. But the truth of it is this. When you are doing units, sales units, of 1 to 200 a month, you're dispatching orders every day, lots of orders every day. You're doing spreadsheets every day. You're responding to customers about good things, bad things, inquiries, disputes, reviews, good and bad, every day. You're doing this every day. And people might say that's not a big deal, but I'll give you an example of something that I sold last week that gave me proper anxiety. It was the largest order I'd done up until that point. I've sold the same item 3 times now, and it's no stress. But the item was valued at £550. The eBay fees, because I'm in the UK, for some reason it's free to sell here now, were 0. So just imagine, this is a rough maths off the top of my head. I think this is what it worked out at. That's weird. I've seen 3 Aston Martins drive past me, like, in the space that I've been filming this video. Maybe I'm just in a super rich area and I just didn't know it. 3 Aston Martins, weird. Anyway, I've lost my flow now. The item was £550 that I sold it for. Just do the rough maths with me here. Sold it for £550. Bought it for, I think it was £390, or I think it was actually £340. I think that makes, yeah, it was £340. Costs on eBay 0. Now, obviously, taxes and everything. I do my tax sheets differently, so that's not associated with what I'm speaking about here. So you're risking £390. Your profit margin is obviously £190, which is great, but I've got to risk £390. Then for some reason the payment didn't go through, but my bank said it did. The money got taken from my account, then it got refunded. The anxiety that comes with that, right? And again, processing an order of £500, yes, you are making appropriate profit. A lot of you guys in the comments would like to make profits of, I don't know, £100, £200 per item. And like I say, I can help you to do that. Link is in my Patreon, in my bio. But at the same time, the amount of stress that can come with this is something that you could not imagine. Because yes, once you get into that market, and I'm starting to break into that now, like I say, when all of your items are going for like 100, 200 pounds profit, it's easy. It's just another loss. It's just another risk. But when this one item is the biggest item that you've ever sold, and at the time it was, and the potential loss is like 20 other products' sale value, that's stress. Now, let me get to my actual point. All of this 15-minute explanation / rant is about explaining the stress that comes with running a business. Not to complain, not to moan, right? And then there's other stresses that come with this lifestyle. I've got to go to work. How do I manage work with running a business? When do I get time to see my family and friends? Now, I'm figuring it all out, but here's the thing, right? I sat there in my chair the other day whilst my brain was aching, proper headache from all of the things that I had to manage. And then I just had a minute where I thought, 5 years ago, or even 4 months ago, these are problems that you would have dreamed of. Here's my point. It seems that there is no style of life that comes without problems. If you're a broke worker working for someone else's business, there's problems with managing the bills. There's problems with finance. There's problems with motivation, perhaps. If you're a millionaire or a billionaire, there's problems. Now, this was a big realization for me, and I know it might sound childish or naive. At least I've realized it, right? This is a diary explaining what I've learned. I'm not saying it as an adult now, I'm saying it as what I've learned in the past couple of weeks and months. I realized that, okay, so I make £10,000 a month, because when you're making 5 and all your expenses are covered, I know you could say, well, then you can move to a different country, or you can buy this car and then you feel different, or you could buy a house, and yes, that's all true, but at the same time, your life's not going to get much better, if you know what I mean. If I was making 50, yeah, I might be living in Dubai, and that might make me feel great, but you know what I mean? Your core needs are covered at 5, 10k a month. And then I realised, okay, so money's not necessarily the complete fix, but all of these problems are problems I would have begged for. All of these are problems that I could have begged for, right? So let me give you an example. Having to sort out all of these orders. At least you're running a business that's successful. What percentage of businesses fail? Even if your business does fail, at least you're stacking away thousands of pounds a month in savings. Where do you put your savings? Oh, I don't know what savings account. I don't know whether I should invest in stocks. Is it risky? Should I reinvest in the business? At least you've got a business to reinvest into. A successful business. At least you've got avenues of thought. At least your mind's open to new ideas because you've learned due to years of experience and investing in stocks, having it go well, investing in stocks, having it go badly, investing in stocks, having it go well, investing in assets for your business. You've got an idea as to what this is. Most people at your age, 21, do not have an idea as to invest. You can't invest money that you don't have, and if people don't have money, they can't invest. So the idea that you talk about investing is a luxury. Taxes, at least you got a business, like I say. At least you're making more than £85,000, £90,000 in revenue. That's a decently successful small business, I would say. Managing time. At least you got things to do. The car that I've got right now, right? Very, very, very old car. Very old car. It's not going to be, hopefully, too expensive, even if anything goes wrong. But let me tell you one thing. This has been one of the cars that I've always dreamed of owning. Yes, it's a quite large old car, but at the same point, it's a car that I wanted. Can you realistically afford to repair it? Yes. Will it be painful? Yes. But can you afford it? Yes. So at least you get to drive the car that you've always wanted. Not necessarily the dream car, but one that I've wanted. At least you get to have it. At least you get the privilege of having that car if it goes wrong or when it goes wrong. At least you have a job. You don't like to turn up to work. At least you've got a job. Socialising with people, meeting new people, doing new things. This is how I've had to and chose to spin everything because again, the point of realization is that there is trouble in any front. Like I say, broke shop worker, trouble. Rich company owner, trouble. Someone who walks about, trouble. Someone who drives a car, trouble. Someone who's below the tax threshold, trouble. Someone who's above it by massive amounts, trouble. Now, it should be your job to mitigate this trouble as much as you can or minimize it, but at the same time, it is a reality. It's a fact of reality. You pick your struggle, don't you? That's what the actual fundamental understanding or the core understanding of what I've experienced has been. You pick your struggle, and you really do. You really do pick it. And like I say, looking back, and hopefully I'll look back in the future, it's like all of these brilliant problems, you know, do you stay in the UK? Do you move abroad? Do you do this? Do you do that? You know, these are luxurious problems. Luxurious problems, especially to be having at 21, because I know some people in the comment section will try grill me and make me feel bad. I don't actually care, because I'm probably making more than them. And I don't say that as, oh, money's the value of a person. I don't think it is, but it's funny because the people in the comments who go off like this always like to make it about money, and I'm probably making double or triple what they are. So, what's my point? Some people will do you down, but ultimately, I'm going to say this. At 21, if I fail, at 22, if I fail, at 25, if I fail, and have to start again, I can either A, go, because I've done it now, I know I can, do 5 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months, whatever, of doing the 9 to 5, or the 9 to 9, the 12-hour shifts, right? It's going to be horrible, but I've done it. I know what it's like. I can live that life if I have to get the money up, or to start my career, or to build my new business. We've done that before. Again, I've made over £2,000 now a month on the following income streams. Investments in the stock market. Done it more than once in 1 month. YouTube channels. 2 YouTube channels that I've had have made more than £2,000 a month profits. eBay. 2 eBay accounts that I've had have made more than £2,000 a month profit. A job. Now, obviously, that one's a lot more obvious, and a lot of you guys can probably relate to that. But I've made more than £2,000 a month in a job. Now, of course, I'm building up other income streams. Amazon, maybe time will tell, and the same will be true. But here's the point, right? That's why I can stay motivated, and that's why I feel good about these things. Because not only are these luxury problems that once I'd have wished to have had, I know how this game works, or I'm starting to understand how this game works. You pick your problem. Undeniably, you pick your problem, or you are going to have a burden of trouble at some point. And if you don't, then you're going to be worse off for it. You know how much more motivated I feel knowing that, yes, you must keep growing your business. There's a time, and yeah, it sounds ignorant and arrogant looking back, but there was a time a couple months ago, or maybe years ago, where I'd have thought, well, you just made 8 grand revenue, profits were 5. Realistically, my expenses, well, like I say, the maximum one can be the car. Rent's paid for the next couple months. It is. I can pay it off in full, because basically, you get the point, right? I don't need to explain all my finances, but the point is I could realistically do nothing for the next couple months, at least. And there was a time where I probably would have. But now I understand a different perspective on life. Things can change quickly, and also, there's a life out there waiting for you and me. A person that is you and me. That is doing significantly better. Living the lifestyle that you want. And like I say, you're burdened with problems anyway. But I'm going to pick which ones they are. So that's the update in life, guys. I know I've made a couple of these update in life videos. I don't think that they do as well in terms of views. I don't care. This is my personal channel. Yes, I want to make money from it. Yes, I want to get views. But at the same time, I want to reflect on the truth. These are the videos, I think, that give me and you a stronger connection. Because if I could very easily try and make videos talk about how great my life is all the time. Right? I very easily could. I could put up a persona on the internet that is completely believable of that type, right? Of the sense that, well, I've got this and I go this place and I'm going on holiday or I make this much money. I could do that. And some of these things are true. Actually, all of these things are true. This is my car. That is my amount of income. That is my business. That is my goals. That is where I've been, what I've done. But at the same time, there is a monumental level of stress that comes with a lot of this stuff. And a lot of people on the internet in this category, I'm going to call it the general make money category, the hustle category, the grind category, whatever you want to call it, do not speak about this. And to any of you guys who have watched to this point, I don't know if you will, it's basically going to be a 30-minute video. So if you did, massive respect to you. But I don't know if anyone's going to watch to this point, but I've got to make this clear. If you're going to do something like what I do, eBay, for example. I've said this before, Amazon you can make probably a lot more money. YouTube you can make a lot more money easily. YouTube's way easy, seriously. But in all of the businesses that I've tried, eBay is the quickest way to get money coming in. So if you're going to try run eBay, join my Patreon, etc., try and make some money like that. Look, I'm making this for you. This is full transparency. Yes, you're going to need to watch this particular 25-minute long video to know this, but I'm going to say it. You are going to be in for a lot of these struggles that I am in for. So, get ready for it. Going into the next chapter, I see bigger challenges. I see bigger, much bigger challenges. Maybe I'm going to move away from the dropshipping business model and start processing all of this stuff for myself. Warehouse, maybe? Maybe I'm going to move into a different business as well. I've always thought about reselling physical stuff, and I see this as being a big market, flipping stuff, maybe like car wheels or luxury watches. And again, I know there's going to be people in the comments telling me why that's also a terrible idea. You guys stay broke, yeah? You guys stay doing what you're doing. It's fine. I don't mind. And maybe you're making more money than me. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're happier than me. If you hate what I do, and you don't like the income streams, and you don't like the businesses, and you think there's no... Go and do your own thing. You know how many people who try to do stuff whose videos I comment on saying that they're going to fail? None. And here's the funny thing. This is what I'm about to say is something that people may consider me to be evil for, but I'm going to say this with full conviction. There's stuff that I see people doing wrong that I don't necessarily correct them on. And people may say, well, why? If you know better, do better. Because certain lessons in life, you can be, and I've learnt this from growing up. A lot of adults, especially ones who get to middle age and beyond, seem to have this concept in their head that they can tell people what's right and they'll follow it. I've told people what's right for years. And obviously they can see the lifestyle, maybe they like it, maybe they don't, then they can follow or not follow. But people need to make mistakes by themselves. So let people make their own mistakes, is my point. And a lot of people like to hate in the comments, but they can stay broke. Or they can go back to doing their own thing. That's fine. If you do want the life that I am building, I'm not there yet, right? I'm still in cold England. And I'm not saying that I'm going to move out of England. I'm still making videos in my car. I don't have a studio. These are just examples. This is a 30-year-old car. I want to keep this car for as long as I can. I love this car. But I can have other cars. Why am I not sat in a Ferrari? Obviously, I've not made it in life yet. But at the same time, I'm on a path. And if you guys want to even think about getting on this path, you need to get ready for a lot of struggle. Because trust me, there is a lot of struggle in this journey.